Hello and welcome to another reading vlog. In this video, we will be reading, or in better words, I will be reading and sharing with you my reactions to It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover. You probably know this book, or heard, maybe even read this book, because it is so popular. I believe it's the most popular book on BookTok, and I never read it. I have no idea what this book is about. I'm going into this book completely blindly. The only things I know about this book, it is that one, apparently it is marketed wrong. It is not exactly a romance novel. There is a movie being made with Blake Lively and Just Baldoni, and apparently she writes letters to Ellen. And that's pretty much it. So, let's read this book, shall we? Hello, it's been like a few days. I'm currently halfway through the book, so let's talk about my opinions, what I'm thinking throughout my experience reading this book. I'm very committed to the bit. I continue making annotations, which is something that is rare for me and is something that is definitely making me take a bit more of my time. In order to do this presentation, I summoned the whiteboard. Here, please don't fall. And let's choose our reference. Which color do you prefer? Do you prefer the blue, the red, the green, or the black? Let's see which ones still work. And in this presentation, one of them fall. The blue one is the rebel one. So, is the red working? Let's try it. This is the presentation. This is the presentation about It Ends With Us. I think I should put this camera a bit closer. Let's do this. So far, judging by what I've heard people talking about, they usually either think this is their greatest book, their favorite book ever, or they just hate it. And for me, I neither hate it, neither love it. It's not my favorite book so far. I think it has some flaws, but I still understand why people seem to be loving it. But this obviously can change. I have half the book to read. But so far, let's break down the characters, shall we? Is this one working? Let's try. So, first we have the main character. Here. Lily Blossom Bloom. She's definitely the main character, she's the narrator, and let's write here, main character / narrator. If my handwriting looks awful, it's because I'm not used to writing in whiteboards, no more. But yeah, Lily Blossom Bloom, our main character, our narrator. She's not unlikable, but she's too naive for her own good. Which is surprising considering what she's gone through, because her father is a piece of work. Her father was abusive towards her mother, and that's one thing I'm going to say. The first thing to point out. We needed trigger warnings for this book, because it deals with seeing things that are quite heavy and can trigger people, but somehow when you start reading or in the reviews, it seems to be, people seem to forget to warn you that these things will happen and will be depicted in this narrative. So if you decide to read this book, if you are not like me, one of the last people that haven't read it, check the trigger warnings because you need to. So going back to Lily, baby, you're too naive. One thing that shocked me in this other part throughout these last 2 days that I've been reading is that she has this moment where she's talking about her business, because she's opening a flower shop And she mentions to Ryle that she didn't check her balance, her account balance for the business. And I was like, babe, how do you expect to have a successful business if you are not checking your bank balance? Because you need to pay bills, you need to know what is coming in, you need to know what's coming out. You need to present to the government your expenses, what you are receiving, so you know. Like, how do you expect to have a successful business if you don't check how much money you are making, how much money you are spending, how much money you are actually paying your employee? And I know she signs the check now, but how can you not know if your employee is like getting their money? My brain's like blank, but like, is this counting the check from your account balance, babe? Also, we need to get to the other point about Lily being like, do you have a brain? Because we need to get to Ryle, and I understand that she's a 23-year-old woman she's meant to be like a bit naive, but she's like too naive for her own good. Because going to Ryle Kincaid? Is that how you write his name? I think it is. He's, I would say, the love interest. I need to change my handwriting so you can understand this. So we are back. Hopefully you can understand a bit better, even though my handwriting is not that great for right parts. But let's go back. So Ryle Kincaid, the love interest. As you can tell, we changed colors because color red gave up on life on us. So going back to Ryle. My face is literally in the camera, but we'll find a way. So Ryle. The thing about Ryle is that I gave him this lovely nickname of, let me see, do you think the red will come back to life? Let's try it. Ooh, he came back to life. Dimitri the Lover. So I gave Ryle the lovely nickname of Dimitri the Lover. If you don't know who Dimitri the Lover is, search it, especially on TikTok. He is this guy that left this hideous, awful, very misogynistic, ridiculous voice note to a woman, and like it's ridiculous. Just check who Dimitri the Lover is. So the reason why I gave Ryle this lovely nickname is because throughout this whole narrative, for me, he's a walking red flag. And like, Lily, can't you see this? Even his sister is kind of low-key warning you. He's a walking red flag. He's portrayed as the love interest and main characters, but for me, he has so many things that, like, this is such a red flag. Like, do you know, like, why are you taking creepy pictures of her? Why you hanging like pixelated creepy pictures? Not creepy picture, but like a picture that you took without her consent in your house. Why you're doing like this stuff or saying or acting this way in front of everyone? Like, do you think maybe she might feel a bit embarrassed that you are almost declaring your love for her in front of everyone, even though, like, at the time you did this, you weren't even together, and like, you're just so creepy. And I feel weird because every time, even when he's supposed to be lovely, I can't help but to feel like or the other shoe is about to drop. Like, for some reason, there is something about him that I just don't trust. I just don't trust Ryle. I don't know, I just don't trust him, and I feel like something is about to happen because this man is a walking red flag. He's problematic. Please, Lily, just run away. You find someone better. And also, there are some things that he does, and I'm like, are you sure he's a neurosurgeon? because some of the things seem to be not very hygienic, and Ryle is walking around with his hospital uniform. Why are you so comfortable with him walking around your house, sleeping in your bed in a hospital uniform? Are you not afraid that maybe he has some bacteria, some germs? He might give you a disease, and okay, he's a neurosurgeon, but still, he can give you a disease that might come from the hospital. Moving on to the next character, important character in this list, Atlas. Who is Atlas? Lily's first love. So far, he appeared mostly in like flashbacks. I put like quotations marks because it's not actually flashbacks, but it's like stories from the past, and he appeared mostly like this so far. But for me, so far he just seems like a cutie. He's just so cute. He cooks, he treats her well, but the only thing about Atlas is that he should have let her wear her knife on her dad, because where do I move on? So do we say a talk about Lily's dad? Okay, let's do like an abandon for Lily's dad. The lead fell off, but this is not a spoiler, it's literally in the first page of the book. Her dad died. And the thing about her dad is that for him is R-N-E-P. Rest not in peace, because he's a problem. And the only thing I don't like about Atlas so far is that he didn't let her use her knife on her dad. Should I push a little bit here so you can see? Oh, rest not in peace. But so far Atlas is a cutie. Why are we not with Atlas? I understand that they didn't see each other for a while, but Lily, dump Ryle, go back to Atlas. Another characters we see a lot, Lisa. She is problematic man's sister, and she's also Lily's BFF and employee. So far, at first I didn't understand why Alisa was working for her. I thought she had a secret agenda. Turns out she had a secret agenda, but it wasn't for ill intentions. But yeah, she's nice so far. But she is problematic man's sister, so maybe she becomes problematic too. Other characters, we have Marshall. I'm not barely in frame, but we have Marshall, who is her husband, and problematic man's BFF. So let's write Marshall in. So far, he was okay, but he said some problematic stuff. And then we have Lily's mom. I have nothing to talk about her actually, except that she should have left her husband sooner and let Atlas call the police on her husband. And then who else have we met so far? Lucy. Where should I put Lucy? Underneath Lily's mom. Okay. The roommate. The only thing I have to say about her is that she's insensitive, and yeah, she's insensitive and egotistical. That's pretty much it so far. So far, my opinion, I am part of the Ryle Skeptics Club. Where can I write this? Maybe here. I'll see you in the next update, because the next update I will have finished this book, and let's see if Ryle messes up, if Ryle does something awful, because I just don't trust Ryle. He's a walking red flag. He's a Dimitri the lover. He gives me this energy. So yeah, see you. So let's talk about It Ends With Us, because I finished the book, and let's bring out the right part again, shall we? I left off, it was around halfway through the book, and you remember when I said that I was always feeling like the shoe was about to drop? Well, it dropped. Ryle, is this an insult to shit? Because the shutter shoe dropped. Ryle, it's not a good person, he's not a good partner, even though he seems like it because he's nice and he's sweet. But basically, in the end, Ryle is shit. Let me fix this, because I think it's way better because it was flopping around. I still think Lily is a bit naive. I'm surprised her business is still going on and going well, but it's good for her. Good for her. Her business is a success and she's happy. Atlas. Let's update on Atlas. He's a cutie and I love Atlas, and apparently I believe the next book, which there's a sequel to it, ends with us. It starts with us, I believe is the name. I'm going to read because apparently it's about Lily and Atlas and I like Atlas. Pretty much that's it in terms of the characters. And overall I would give this book a solid, can I put here? Yes, you can see 3.75 stars, because like it's not like this is my favorite book ever. The character flaws, they really bother me, but still I like this book, and I'm going to be honest, I do understand why people love it so much, even though I don't love it so much. For me it's okay, but don't think I don't understand why people hate it so much, because I know if you go on Goodreads there isn't the proportion from 5 stars to 1 star is like huge. There's way more 5 stars, 4 stars and lower ratings, but still I see so many people talk shit about this book that I don't understand why. And if you can explain to me, please do. I do understand the author, some people consider her to be problematic, but there's a difference between the author and the book, and I don't know, is it just because people consider this author problematic? Is there something about this novel that people consider problematic? I don't know if you can point that out to me, because I honestly, I think it's very average. The storytelling was good, the writing, I did read translated, so I don't know if there is a huge difference in writing from the translated to the original version in English, but the writing was okay. It was not my favorite, but still, like, there was no major flaw with it. Again, the plot, there was no major flaw. The characters, the ones that were the most unlikable, I think they were written to be the most likable, like Ryle. And that was the point of the novel. And that's pretty much it. The epilogue, Lily, she makes some choice, which I kind of understand why she makes that choice in terms of her daughter, but also personally I don't think I would choose that for security reasons. But overall, yeah, that's it for the... It ends with us, the reading vlog.